Hey, Chris here from IELTS Advantage, and in this video we're going to look at why is IELTS so difficult? Why do people keep failing again and again and again? And it's all related to this, myths versus reality. The number one reason why people fail is they believe some of these myths. And if you don't live in reality, then very, very bad things can happen. So if people are telling you lies, or more importantly, you are telling yourself lies, then you're not living in reality, and very, very bad things can happen. And recently I saw this movie called The Joker, and I'm going to explain to you how many students who fail the test over and over and over again have a lot of things in common with this character, and I'll tell you at the end of the video. But throughout the video, if you've seen the movie, try and think about what things that you might have in common with the Joker, and I'll explain at the end. And at the end I'll also give you a free course that will help you understand all of the things that I'm talking about today and go into things in a lot more detail, but that'll be at the end of the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these 5 myths. These are things that I hear every single day from students. We get at least 1,000 emails a day from students, and they always say one of these 5 things when they're telling us why they are failing. We're going to give you the reality. I'll give you a reality check. That says reality. It's hiding behind this little button. And then a solution to these problems. Because if you believe these things, you are guaranteed to fail over and over and over again. And you're going to get very angry, very frustrated. You're going to be filled with resentment, and that is not a good place to be. Okay, so let's start off with number 1. It's just a business. So we hear this from students all the time. So they say, I failed the test 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 60 times. And the reason why I keep failing is it's just a business. They are failing me on purpose. And everybody knows this, and it's not my fault, it's IELTS' fault because it's just a business. What is the reality? The reality is, yes, it is a challenging test. The test is the test, but they are not failing you on purpose. Here is the required level you want to get to, and here is where you are right now. You are not at that required level. And blaming it on it's just a business is meaning that you are not taking responsibility for your own results, for your own actions. And if you start blaming everything else and not taking any responsibility for your own actions, you're not going to do the things that you need to do in order to go from here to here. So it's really, really important that we dispel this myth. All right, so it's just a business. I did my driving test last year. Here in the UK, like 70–80% of people who try and do the driving test the first time fail. Is that because the driving test is a business? No, it's a difficult test and most people do it before they're ready. The school that my son goes to is a business. The hospital that my wife had my son in is a business. Just because something is a business doesn't mean necessarily that it is evil. Some businesses are evil, but most of them are providing a good service in return for money. And I believe that IELTS is doing that as well. But because so many people believe all of these myths, they fail over and over and over again. So logically, they think it's just a business. No, it's because you believe all of these things. And we'll give you the solution to all of these things in a minute. But the solution to this problem is accept that it is a difficult test and put in the work required to go from here to here. All right, that's all you have to do. But that's a really, really important mindset shift, because if you don't accept that it's a difficult test and you need to do some work in order to get there, you are never going to get there. So number 2, I don't know why I failed. So many people email us. Like, there was a girl who emailed us yesterday and she said, I failed the test 6 times. And the reason why I keep failing is they don't tell me why I got a 6.5 in writing. They don't provide this information. It's all a scam. They're doing this on purpose so that I will fail over and over and over again. Well, let's look at the reality. It's public information. If you go and Google IELTS writing band descriptors, they tell you exactly what is a band 9, exactly what is a band 8, exactly what is a band 6 in a lot of detail. It is all public information. And I could tell you in 2 minutes, if I looked at your writing or listened to your speaking, I could tell you exactly why you were getting the score that you need. That's what I said to this girl. Send me your writing. You're going to have to pay for it. It's a service. I don't work for free. I have bills to pay and mouths to feed at the same time. And she's like, no, I just want to continue to do everything for free and bitch and moan about everything and complain that they don't tell me why. It's like, if you spent a small amount of money, I could tell you immediately. If you want to do this for free, go and look at the public information. It's all online. You can go to IELTS.org and find it. She didn't want to do that. So if you want to get over this myth and live in reality, you need to learn the real requirements. It's all online for free, or hire a real expert, not someone who says they're or pretends that they are an expert on the internet, someone who has actually got real results in the past. Hire them. They'll be able to tell you in 2 minutes. So now you're not blaming it on IELTS that it's a business. You're not blaming them because they're not telling you what to do. Now you know exactly why you are failing. All right. And that is very sobering for many people. Many people, when I tell them, okay, the reason why you got 6.5 is you really need to work on your prepositions, your articles, your vocabulary accuracy, and you need to learn how to structure a main body paragraph. You need to list all the things out, and then they're like, oh, and either they say, yes, now I want to learn all of these things, or no, it's just a business, because they don't want to do the work. Let's live in reality here. So the next one is, yeah, Chris, that might be true for you and your students, but in my country or in my city, everybody gets a 6.5. The examiners are biased. So every time we post a success story, we have more video success stories than any other course in the world. And every time we post them, someone always says, yeah, but in Punjab in India, or in Singapore, or in Vietnam, or in Nigeria, that's not the case. So let's look at the reality. The reality is every single examiner in every single city, in every single country, is using the exact same criteria, the exact same training, and they are checked in exactly the same way. And if you do not agree with your score, you can get it double checked again. You can appeal your results. So are examiners robots and they're absolutely 100% perfect? No, I'm not saying that at all. But it is as near to perfect as human beings can get. Mistakes do happen, but in the vast, vast, vast majority of cases, the score that you get is the score that you deserve. Why are you not getting the score that you deserve? Because you believe in myths, all right? And you do not live in reality. So what do you need to do to get over that? Learn to give the examiners what they want. Again, I have talked to many of these students and they have joined my course and they've said, oh, but in Punjab, in India, I could never get a 7 or above. And I said, okay, let's look at your writing. Okay, if you fix that, improve that, work on that, stop doing that, you'll get a 7. All right? Because the examiners are not looking to fail you. They're looking at objective criteria, and if you do those things, give them what they want, they'll give you the score that you need. But again, many people don't want to hear that because it is easier to complain about the examiners in your area than to do all of those things that you need to do. Number 4, it's just too hard. Oh, Chris, I can't do this test again. It's so frustrating. It's just too hard. So the myth, it's just too hard, it's an objective test. What you are really saying is you are not at that level yet, which is totally fine. We weren't born with the ability to speak a language perfectly. All right, that's not how human beings work. In order to get here in any skill, and you are here, you need to move up. So let's look at the actual reality. You are looking for shortcuts. Every time somebody says this to me, it's just too hard, I say, what have you done so far to improve? And they normally say, well, I looked at lots of tips and tricks and hacks, and that's the way to do it, isn't it? No, that's a complete waste of time. Or I memorized all this vocabulary that is band 9 vocabulary, or learned these magic lists of phrases and looked at lots of band 9 answers and memorized them. No, that's another shortcut. Or I don't really want to join the best course in the world. I don't want to join the best course in my local area, so I'm going to go for this really cheap course online or the cheapest teacher I can find. That's a shortcut, all right? You're trying to do things that don't cost any time or don't cost you any money. And in order to get the score that you need, you either need to invest a lot of time improving, or you need to invest money in somebody who is going to help you over the line and help you improve. So you're looking for shortcuts. Again, that might be hard for many of you to accept, but if you search deep in your soul, you will know that that is true. So, it's just too hard? No, you have certain weaknesses. Everybody does. There's nothing wrong with that. But in order to get from here to here, you need to turn those weaknesses into strengths. And again, I could tell you that in 2 minutes. I could say you need to fix this, stop doing that, continue doing this. And it's that simple. It is not easy, but it is very, very, very simple. This is easy, blaming everything and looking for shortcuts, but in the long run, you're going to fail over and over and over again. And that brings me on to this next one. Oh, Chris, it's just too expensive. I've done the test 5 times. It cost me like $200 to $300 each time. I've wasted a lot of money on teachers. I have to take time off work. I have to travel here. It's cost me thousands and thousands of dollars, which is true. It is expensive. But what is the reality? The reality is not that the test is expensive. You are doing it in a very, very, very silly and expensive way. Because what are you doing? You're doing the test before you're ready, all right? The only reason people fail is they do the test when they're not ready. This is the score they need, and they are here, and they don't do anything to get to here. Or they do lots of silly things that do not get them there. So yes, it is expensive if you do the test 6 times, but what is the solution? Don't do the test until you know you're 100% sure that you'll pass. So I was talking to a software developer recently from India, and he emails me about once a month, every time he fails a test. He's never joined our courses. We've told him the price of our courses, and what he says is they're too expensive. So the other month I said to him, how much would you earn in Canada when you get there? He said, for my level, it's like $80,000, $90,000. It's like, okay, do you realize that you've wasted $90,000 by failing the test over and over and over again for a year? If you had have just invested the right amount of money, because he's done lots of courses that are like $100, $200. Ours are between $350 and $700. You can see how silly that is. He doesn't want to live in reality, that he just needs to do the test when he's ready by doing something that is in his best interest, or he's going to fail over and over and over again. So what do students and the Joker have in common? So not all students, but students who believe all of these things have a lot of things in common with the Joker. If you have not seen this movie before and you don't want to know what happens, just skip ahead because I'm going to have some spoilers here. But he wants to be a comedian, all right? But not only does he not know how to be a comedian, he has no idea what makes other people laugh. He doesn't know how to be funny. So he's not living in reality. He wants to have relationships with people, but everybody finds him a bit weird and doesn't want to be around him. So not only is he not suitable for a relationship, he's no idea why people don't like him, because he doesn't live in reality. And if you've seen this movie, you will understand exactly what I mean. He doesn't live in the real world. He lives in an alternative universe where he feels that he is entitled to be a funny comedian and have a girlfriend and have all these things. But because he doesn't live in reality, he's never going to get those things. And it ends quite badly. And I'm not saying that IELTS students are going to turn into people who kill each other for fun, turn into homicidal maniacs. But watching this movie, this is what it made me think about, and this is why I made this lesson. So if you want to go into more detail on the things that I talked about, obviously you need help with your listening, your reading, your speaking, your writing. If you want help with that, we have a free course, our fundamentals course. It's 100% free. You can join instantly. Just click the link below and it'll take you to a page. Add your name, add your email, and we'll send you instant access. I hope you enjoyed that video. Many of you will totally disagree with me on that, maybe because you're not living in reality, but if you start to live in reality and stop lying to yourself, then you're going to see a huge amount of progress, and you'll be able to get the score that you need and forget about this silly test for the rest of your life. Hope that you enjoyed that. Please subscribe. We make videos once a week. Normally we put them out on a Thursday. Hit subscribe and you'll get our next video. If you've liked this, hit the like button. If you totally disagree with me, hit the dislike button if you want to disagree with me. Thanks very much, guys, and I look forward to reading your comments below as well. Bye-bye.